Well, forgive me. For some reason, the top two layers of my intro are completely invisible, and I'm not sure what happened there. But hello, everybody. Welcome, KCP fam. This is Mezzo here, back with Arctic Scala this week. Wait,
Voila!
did I
Oh
go
my
the
gosh!
right
So,
way? Yes, I looked the right way. We're on the right side of the bed.
what's up, Saber Rattle fans? For those that have not noticed, we have a brand new feature here that I'm just still checking
Yes.
out. I'm,
Yeah,
I'm,
we
I'm
literally just noticed it right before we went live. You can actually have the chat pop up down in the corner way over there by Van.
flashing into my face. Oh,
Yeah, okay. It will pop up over by Van. This is something that we're trying out. Hopefully in the future, this is like really brand new. It's in the beta stage. There could be a way for you to kind of change the shape of it in the future or where exactly it's at. That would be really cool.
so just.
Tonight,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
you go, you go.
What's up, Cam? What's up, Cam? So just like we were explaining to our fantastic guest earlier, and for those of you that do not know, over the last 5 years, every time you've seen comments popping up in the corner, we have been doing that manually. So on some shows, when you notice that
Like
there's no
this,
comment,
when it pops up
yes,
like this.
exactly. We have been doing that by hand. And we
Yes.
do that because we feel like you are an important part of the show. We want to make sure all of your comments we're hitting the screen so people can see what a fun community we have here. But now it's really, really cool that these are popping up in the corner. I'm wearing my old man glasses and I can't even read those. So I'm reading the comments like on the
Every
side.
single pair of your glasses are old man glasses. So
I guess when you're an old man, that's just kind of comes with the territory.
yes, it does. I'm also checking like while we're talking, I'm checking on my I can't stand it when something like that happens in my editing. I have never just clicked the eyeball for something to be invisible like that. And that is two whole layers that were suddenly invisible. And I'm like, what happened? So I literally am pulling up my editing software while we're talking
I want
to be
to
like,
just to
what
see what
happened?
happens. Oh, so
Yeah.
okay, so we can still do it big live
You
on
can
the
still
side.
do, yeah. So like if we have if you have a question for our guest, you can still put that in the chat and we'll pop it up big on screen. But I think for now we can have the chat in the bottom right of your screen and you can kind of see it there too.
Yes, and
Which I think
absolutely.
is a pretty cool feature, to be honest.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think. If it's something that you guys are digging, if you guys can see it. I can imagine because I usually watch our show from the television. So I can
Ah,
imagine on a TV this might look okay, but I kind of wonder what it looks like on a phone.
well, let me find out.
So, guys,
Um,
while she is doing that, I want to let you know I have had an exciting time. This is actually yesterday was my birthday, and so I was in Pasadena at Pasadena Con yesterday. I just got home. We drove all night last night. It was absolutely fantastic. I'm excited about some of the guests that we have coming up for you. We've been at conventions for the last 2 months. I think I've only had one weekend off, and so I've just been stacking up the interviews that we have for you. But we have some fantastic ones. Which, by the way, we have the one that we have booked right now is John Morrow from Toy Story. He is Andy from Toy Story. He will be here on I think August 22nd. We originally had Father's Day, but our fabulous director Metz will not be here for 2 weeks. I also want to let you know at that point we're going to be taking a 2 week vacation just because I'm not smart enough to do this myself. And you know what? It's nice to have a little break every once in a while. We do this every week for you guys. Try to come up with a fantastic show. So thank you, Cam. Thank you.
yes, everyone's saying happy birthday to Van. Say a happy birthday.
Thank you. And Night Vision, your package is coming. I'm so sorry, brother. I don't know what happened, but your package has been
All right, so
resent to you.
just to recap, Van says we're going to have June 8th and 15th. We're going to be off.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay, because Mezzo here is going to be gone. I leave June 8th. My husband and I leave right after church for our anniversary trip. And then straight from an anniversary trip, we're going to Mexico like I did last year to help build a house. I won't even have access to internet for several days. So I won't be able to do any of that stuff. And so Van's just like, Mezzo's not going to be here. Let's just not do it. So I think it was last year, I took my first ever actual vacation from the channel, and I took 5 weeks off, and it took 3 people to do my job.
That's how valuable you are. It took three
Um,
of us to do just be you.
So if you want to help support the channel and Mezzo's time editing, you can go to patreon.com/Kyber Cave Productions, and you can actually support for us for as little as $1 a month. That all goes to helping support the channel when it comes to time editing, gathering assets, my subscriptions to things and stuff to be able to make things for the show and not get copyright content all the time. Hi, Sewong. Van didn't blow up the channel. No, he has. He won't be able to while I'm gone because he's taking those 2 weeks off anyway. So it'll work out that way. All right, let's get on with the nerdy news, guys. What do we do every week with the nerdy news? We have music that plays, and it's like first on the nerdy news. Lego Masters strikes back with a blockbuster premiere. So
Boom, boom.
you can see a couple of stormtroopers there. Lego Masters is a delightful show of teams of 2 who are given challenges every week to make a build out of Lego. The 4th season just started, and it kicked off with Star Wars as the theme. Even one of the most famous Star Wars villains makes an appearance. Hosted by Will Arnett. If you don't know who that is, he actually played Lego Batman in the Lego Batman series, but he's also been in several other things. Hosted by Will Arnett, Lego Masters is a wonderful show with lots of comedy and heart. We watch it, my family and I, we watch it every week, and we look forward to the season just as we have any others. There's been several guest stars on it. Chris Pratt has been on there when they did a whole Jurassic Park episode. These builds are massive.
So it's a game show where they build Lego sets?
Yeah, yes. And so like one time they did one that was a bridge, and they tested the bridges out with simulation to see how long they held. How much they held.
These people are making their original designs, like they're giving a box of Legos.
They literally it's not even a box of Legos. Like what you cannot see is to the sides of Will on the corners of the stage are shelves and buckets of Lego pieces. And there's motorized ones, like they make it super fancy. If you haven't seen any of the previous 3 seasons, please go do that.
Oh, I'm gonna check it out.
In the off season, they also have charity ones with a celeb teaming up with one of the previous contestants.
Oh wow!
Which have been really, really cool to kind of see too. So you see a celeb, and if they win, a portion goes to the charity and stuff like that. So it's really, really neat. Oh, wow. It's a really fun show. My kids, it's one of they're not big TV movie people, but this is like one of their TV shows they really look forward to watching every time it's on. And Will is hilarious. He's a great host. And they have these massive, like 8 foot by 7 foot, like huge tables to work their stuff on to build their sets.
Oh wow, okay.
So it's pretty spectacular and a lot of fun. All right, next. Last week we talked a little bit about Fortnite and how James Earl Jones's voice was added to it because Darth Vader was added as a character,
right?
With AI, and that his family seemed to be okay with it because James Earl Jones said that Darth Vader and his voice could not really be separated from each other. But guess what? SAG-AFTRA has filed charges over the use of AR Darth Vader voice in Fortnite. So last week we discussed this. And he was added to the game, but the company called Llama Productions, which is in charge of Fortnite, has been charged with unfair labor practices in this matter. The charges have to do with the use of AI to replicate the voice of James Earl Jones, which allegedly infringes on agreements made between the games company and the union. So even if a family member is like okay with it legally, it's not necessarily correct to be doing. So if you would like to check out the information on that article, it was written by Alex Morgan of StarWarsNet.com. But for both of those stories, I'm going to pop the links into the chat in just a moment if it will let me. Thank you. There we go. I'm looking at right now for me, when I look at my screen, I'm not sure about everybody else in the chat. Can you guys let me know? No, it's fine now. I was frozen on my live stream. I have the live stream right now that you guys are watching up on my other screen, and I was like this for like a few seconds. So thankfully it seems to have resolved. But that is your nerdy news of the day. It's a bummer when stuff like that happens and they file charges and you can't really, it is what it is. You're gonna have to see what happens with that, I guess, in the end.
How do you guys feel about that? I think it is. I understand both points of view. I have conflicting thoughts. I do agree you can't separate James Earl Jones from his voice, his character from the character of Darth Vader, even though he's known for other powerful characters like Mustafa, right? Mustafa, I feel like that voice
Do
kind
you
of
mean
belongs to
Mufasa?
that character.
Mufasa?
Isn't that what I said?
You said Mustafa.
Oh, sorry, my
I'm just
bad.
saying. I'm just saying.
My bad. At any rate, it's kind of like Carrie Fisher made a comment a long time ago. I can't remember exactly what it was, but she had said something to the effect that George Lucas owned her likeness. So every time she looked in the mirror, she owed him $1. I think
funny.
a lot of times when people become these characters, you can't really envision. I couldn't envision Darth Vader with a British accent, right? I mean, that is the voice that you think of. So, but at the same time, now it's also it puts other actors out of work. It gives these studios a reason to shave money anywhere they can.
Like if you had someone who could do a very good impression, I guess, of him. Like I can do a really good Clarabelle the cow.
Right. But see, here's the thing: is I don't have to pay royalties to AI. So the theater or the studio every time, if they have a choice to use a real person or a robot, they're probably gonna go with the robot. Even though the quality might be better to have.
When it comes to anything that is entertainment art, specifically like someone's voice, music, drawing, I don't think AI should be used at all. I think AI is best for supportive tasks like our channel description. I've been experimenting with ChatGPT for it because to me, when I put it down, it looks a little disorganized. I throw it in ChatGPT and it organizes it for me.
Right.
That's not like that's me doing my job on like testing something to play with it. But I would never be like, hey, can you design this for me? Can you take this video and analyze it and tell me what it says, stuff like or whatever. Right. Anything that I think, especially artist wise, like, we have a wonderful voice artist who's on our show tonight for our guest. I'd be like, I would never want a voiceover AI like that. Has no personality to it whatsoever.
So,
right.
so are you?
It's not through my TED Talk.
Okay, wait. But I'm actually kind of interested. So on this one though, you don't like the idea of the AI Darth Vader.
Like obviously if it's not legal, then it shouldn't be done anyway. But if you're saying if it takes someone out of the job, then maybe it shouldn't be there.
Good call. Good call. I respect that.
I understand that his family might have been okay with it. I think it would have made more sense if he had pre-recorded some lines or something like that ahead of time. But I don't like AI to pretend to be people because there's a lot of like that deep fake stuff that can go around too. Right. That can make people seem like they say something they aren't saying.
Right.
So, hi, Raph. Anyway, all right, guys.
There you go. What's up, Raph?
So that is your nerdy news for tonight. Now, James Kaiser, who is our Flow producer, brings us a Flow this week that you've all seen before. Or not this one. This one's called The Chemist. Actually, he's really interesting. So if you'd like to check out The Chemist, I will post his link into the chat, but it's also in the description if you're watching the upload. So please enjoy The Chemist. that is your nerdy news. So yeah, it looks like my editing program went completely haywire on me this week, and it's not showing any of the motion graphics templates I have pop up, which is like people's names when it comes up, or like pictures that pop up. So I'm going to be trying to rectify that while we can. So while I can, let's see, try to like rectify it during the interview in a sense, because it's very interesting. But we'll see if I can figure that out. That is not going to be
fabulous.
Yes, please.
I want to speak a little bit more, because this is our last opportunity about the Forest Moon Festival for everybody that tuned in last week. Oh, and any new viewers that we have, don't let me forget, that's something else I want to mention before we go. So Forest Moon Festival, and then talk about the numbers. Don't let me forget, Mets. Don't forget, next weekend, it's going to be Friday and Saturday are the premiere events, and then Sunday they're going to be closing out at around noontime with their events. Make sure to go, if you are on Facebook, check out the Forest Moon Festival page. I believe there's also a website for it, and it gives you a list and time of the activities. The thing that's interesting about this event is it's not just one set location. It's kind of spread out throughout the county in a couple of different spots. There's different activities happening, including viewings of Return of the Jedi in the forest at night. I'm so excited about that. I just can't imagine. We're going to be setting up. Kyber Cave will be there. At first, we are booked for another con, but I let that other con know that we were not going to come up in favor for this, because we are one of the major sponsors. We're donating lightsabers and giving away lightsabers at these events. We'll have a booth there as well. I just can't wait to see a whole bunch of lightsabers lit up in the forest at night. That is the coolest thing. So
I could not imagine how cool that would be.
We got to plan this out for next year, Mets. Like next
year,
we
absolutely. That next year, yes, absolutely.
We'll bring out Anthony and Aubrey and the rest of the crew, and we'll do like a big Kyber Cave in the Woods videotaping party thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's also going to be a couple of special guests, including Kevin Thompson, who was a Ewok in the original movie and a friend of Kyber Cave. We have had him on a past episode as well. And there's going to be the director from the movie Fanboys will be at this event as well. And there's going to be a special screening of that, which I've actually never seen Fanboys. I didn't even know about it until your interview last week. So I'm really excited for that. And hopefully we can get him on our show as well. So
that would be really, really cool.
That was all I want to say about that. And then lastly, I wanted to say, my guys, I love you guys so much. Last weekend, on our channel, every 100 subscribers, and 100 may seem like a lot to you, but when you're paying for these sabers, these hundreds are coming up a lot faster and faster. We were we hit our goal last week and blew past it by like another 30 subscribers. I think we're like 28 subscribers away right now from our next giveaway. That's 2 sabers in a month, guys. And that can potentially, after Forest Moon, that can be 3 sabers in a month. If we get to the point where we're hitting 100 subscribers a week, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to get a third job.
Yes, you are. That's what happens when you hire like a really nice director that helps too.
Yes, yes. Absolutely fantastic. We would be nothing here without Mezzo. I've looked at our past, and it's been absolutely incredible. And I don't know if they're still going up on Patreon, but if you've seen, we had the missing 11 episodes of Saber Rattle, the first 11 that aren't on YouTube.
Yep.
We have those up on our Patreon page. So if you want to see what the first 11 episodes look like, let me tell you, we've come a long way, people.
we have come quite a long way. And it's been a lovely ride. I've just been on here for just over 3 years. Can you believe that?
That is
crazy to think about, and also makes me feel old.
When we first started this show, and some of you may not, may look, from what I understand, a lot of people don't even realize this show has a name. But our name is Saber Rattle on this show, and when you look at that,
right there,
that had to do with the fact that as we started, this show was a way to keep in touch with the lightsaber community when we were during the pandemic. This show started during the pandemic because we had to close our store doors and it was our way to communicate with customers. So when we first started, all of our interviews had to do with lightsaber manufacturers or lightsaber flow artists or lightsaber fighters. It was all about the saber. Now we've almost evolved into kind of conventions and nerding in general with still a foundation of Star Wars.
Yes.
So I love you guys so much. I thank you for all of your help growing. Everybody who shares the show and lets other people know, you are doing a tremendous help. We're growing fast, guys. We're over 2,700.
We're almost at 2,800.
Yeah, we're almost at 2,800, which puts us in the top 9% of YouTube channels, which is crazy. So keep doing it.
Keep doing it, everybody. Keep doing it.
All right. Okay. I have delayed this too long. We have a fantastic.
All your fault.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, I'm so used to you asking me this, but Mets, what can you tell us about our fantastic guest tonight?
Well, our wonderful guest is a dear friend of our old host, Aaron Slakowski. He is a voiceover artist and introduced us to Jennifer Kellams, who has a fantastic voice. I got to listen to it doing some of the editing, and I was like, I want an audiobook. because it was like, she's done characters and she does commercials, and like the commercials are like really relaxing. Like, I know that they have apps for things that like make you zen, and it made me think, okay, I think she needs to do one of those. So,
she's got like a bubble bath voice.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. All right. Anyway, so please welcome our guest, Jennifer Kellams.
On any given day, anything could happen. The unplanned, the unexpected, the why today? That smell of fresh brewed coffee in the morning. The taste of that first sip. That Starbucks coffee feeling. Made ready at home with Keurig. Sun's out, club's out.
The coffee one. That was like, I could listen to that a few times.
You know what? That is the one spot on my demo that I actually wrote on my own. The rest were
that's really cool.
that I piecemealed. But like, that was the one I was like, well, I want like a coffee spot. And I was at my friend's house and they had an espresso, and I'm like, well, I'm not supporting Nestle, but well, I mean, Keurig's not super evil, so, and Starbucks, okay.
I got Aaron as the force effect down in the chat saying hello, basically.
Yay, hi Aaron.
Yes, thank you for coming in, my friend. He used to call me Premiere Mommy. Because he and our other, we have another editor on the show named Graveyard who does this Monday night show upload. And I started teaching them how to edit on Premiere Pro. So both of them call me Premiere Mom, like for a while.
I love that.
I look at them, they've grown so much. So
well, and I only just put it together when you had mentioned backstage that you used to sing opera. And I was like, mezzo.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, mezzo soprano.
I get it.
Yes.
I never put it together.
That's where it comes from. Yes, everyone's wondering mezzo means mezzo soprano because that is the part I sing. That is the rich range of the voice is the mezzo area.
I love it.
Anyway, thank you. So anyway, Jennifer Kellams, very excited to actually interview you, and because we've been chatting by email like back and forth. It feels like for a couple of weeks.
Just a little type A about that. Yeah.
Getting prepared for the show, and I was like, I can't wait until she comes tonight. I'm very excited. So I want to first ask you, what first drew you to voice acting, and how did you get started in the industry?
So I actually started 20 years ago.
I don't think that's possible because I think you look like you're 25. So, yeah, seriously.
No, so my undergrad degree was in communications with us specifying in like radio production, electronic media, and I loved doing audio production. And so when I graduated, I got a job in Colorado Springs working for an AM station, and radio stations don't pay much at all. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just start like cold calling. And I just like Google searched like audio production companies because I know how to do audio production. I love doing audio production. And I found like the small audio production company called Altitude Studios. And he was like, the owner of it was like, he's like a one-man shop, but he's like, yeah, I could take you on like part-time. And like, so after being there about a month, we had this, it was called Academy Kids Dental. And they were like, we want a commercial and we want Captain Smile and we want a jingle. And here's like kind of what we want the jingle to be, but it's all very loose. And then, so he was like, you know what? Here's your first project, because whatever, like, here's your first project. You've been with me for a month. And so I wrote this like 30-second spot, which I still have somewhere, of Captain Smile and Commander Cavity. And
Gosh, that's awesome.
and then he was like, and of course, you know, he's this like major, like he does like the car commercials. And so he's got the captain voice. And he's like, well, what does Commander Cavity sound like? Like I, like in my whole roster, like I don't know what Commander Cavity sounds like. And I'm like, oh, well, he sounds a lot like this. And he's like, you're hired.
Perfect.
Fabulous.
That's great. That's a really fun way to kind of like break into it. Like, here you
Yeah.
go.
And you know,
that's really
and
cool.
before being an electronic media major, I was a music major. So then I also got to do the jingle as well. And like seeing my paycheck after that, I was like, well, I make like a lot more as a voiceover artist than I do just producing the commercials. So I loved it. And then, you know, it ended up, he wasn't able to really afford me as help. So it was like it ended up being a summer job, but like I worked at a hotel, but my ads were still playing. And I'm like, God, I love this. I love hearing myself. And then
I wish I liked hearing myself, because I have had where I record for the channel and then I have to go edit. It's like just a recording. So I go to edit it and I'm just like, oh.
So I have this coach that was like, the best way to get used to not hating your voice is to record an audiobook and then listen to it.
That'd be interesting. I could like do like a few pages of something and see.
Yeah. And then just
to kind of listen back. Like, well, I guess part of it too is like half the time when I would try to listen back to myself, it was singing, and that's like a whole different ballgame too. I actually learned that when I sing something, like someone wants to hear something, I sing it. I don't listen back. I just send it, because if I listen to it, I won't send it.
I've noticed like now when I edit, I don't listen to myself. I'm only listening for like errors to edit, but I don't actually listen to myself. So I'm very like detached from
that makes sense.
my
that
voice.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You're detached, but also connected at the same time with the control you have for like characters and commercials that you have to do.
Controlled in the booth. Controlled in the booth.
Controlled in the booth. That's like a hashtag. Yeah. Controlled in the booth.
Oh, I love it. It's my new
your merch. Controlled in the booth.
I love it.
But and then it'd be like, okay, well, how is she not in the booth?
Oh Lord, talk to my husband.
And I've seen it. It's really fun too, because I watch TikTok a lot for work, like we close out with a couple TikToks, but I also kind of find myself sometimes killing time. And I've seen a couple of voiceover artists and they're doing a book and they just can't stop laughing at like a part they have to read. And then it takes them a while to like get through it. And they have to get all the laughs out before they can like do something, because obviously they have to stay focused. But so it sounds like it's also like a lot of fun to do.
Yeah. I've started saving I've started saving a lot of my bloopers to create blooper reels for TikTok, social media, all of that. I'm like,
perfect.
Those are actually kind of fun. Whereas before, like, cause I'm kind of type A little bit. So, before I'm like, oh, that's so awful. And now I'm like, okay, that's actually kind of fun. So,
that's great. That's great.
Yeah. Like I just did one for like, it was like kids like learning about sharks.
Okay.
And I forget what the line was, but I could not say it for like 9 times over. I'm like, okay, well, there you go. There's a whole reel right there.
So this involves Aaron, as we all know Aaron. And a while back he had recorded yeah, you can rat him out too after we're done with this part. He recorded this like joke video. We have a Facebook chat with KCP Family Chat. And it was Betso's going to join your voiceover family. We'll make it happen. That would be amazing. I have a nice short SM7B that I could work with. But we
need more singers.
Oh, I'm in there. I'm up for it. So Aaron recorded this joke video when he was doing the last of his series on our channel about his ring light. And he said, I like to set mine to 48,000K because we care, like because I care. And while I'm shooting zombies' heads off and thing, well, I didn't tell anybody, but I just kind of took that recording and I made this commercial for our channel called Because We Care.
Yes.
It had like pretty music and it had stock video footage of like people like taking care of each other and saying hi and high fives and stuff. And I was like, we are a community. Like I was like doing my own voiceover. And then I was like, because, then it's transferred over to Aaron's video going, the one he made, he's like, I like to set my ring light to 48,000K because I care. And when he did this, I had font that go, because we care, like come up from his hand. And I'm like, join our community because we care. And like a butterfly flew into like the end animation of it.
Yes.
That was like our joke. I'll send it to you like an email later.
Oh yes, please.
And you can giggle.
I'm gonna
and
get
laugh
some
at that
mileage
all
out of
you
this
want.
one.
I did not tell them about it, and I just threw it. I'm like, here you go. Threw it into our little family chat, and it was hilarious. We got a question here from Van saying, if you were on a project doing a certain voice or a group of voices for an extended period of time, why did you just take that away from me, sir?
Yeah.
Is it possible to remember what your own voice sounds like? Can you get lost in the character?
Yes. So if I'm doing multiple characters, I will do one character all the way through and then go back and do the second character and then like just edit it in later if I need to.
Do you do different takes of each line too? Like if depending on what one bouncing off the other? Like
yeah, like if it's so if it's an audiobook, it's kind of hard. For an audiobook, I will actually create like a data set of like character A has this voice and I'll do a couple lines from that character so that I can go back through, especially because I'm recording on multiple days and be like, okay, to get in set, I'm doing this character. Okay. But if it's like an audio drama or a video game, I'm usually just doing like one character, but usually it's the audiobooks that are the hardest to remember, like whose voice sounds like what. So I had to create like an audio data set to stay in check. But if it's something like an audio drama, if I'm certain people, then I'll do like all of one character and then go back and do the other character.
Forrest says, I'm opposite. I have an entire conversation with myself in different characters, and I promise I'm not crazy.
I've seen him do this. It is insane.
I'm not surprised. He is fantastic.
It is like a person with like bipolar, and you're watching him, and because like there's a physicality with your voice too, and so like you'll watch him, and he'll be like, yeah, I'm just from Pennsylvania, and I'm a poet, whatever, and then he'll be like, but I'm also a superhero, blah, blah, blah. But then I'm also from Pennsylvania doing my accent. But then I'm also a super. And I'm like, you were like two different people.
Back and forth, yeah.
It's amazing to watch. It is absolutely incredible.
Arctic Scala popped up. Did you want to say something?
I did. I wanted to clarify my question because I was like, oh my God, after I typed it out, I'm so used to just asking it. I'm not used to having to like type out my thoughts. But my thought was like, I was watching a clip of like Frank Oz doing Yoda and how he was talking about being stuck on the set with just, Mark Hamill was going crazy because it was just him and a puppet for like 2 months. But if you were doing a character for a long period of time, is it almost, I know this sounds weird, but is it possible to forget who you are? Like, wait a minute, is this my voice or is this my voice? Because you do such a range of voices, you can like forget who you are. And then also a second question, if you don't do a voice for a long period of time, let's say you do a commercial or something, and then 10 years later, somebody wants to revive that, is it possible to forget how you did a voice before?
Hopefully I have it recorded, so I'll go back and I'll listen to it. But if I'm doing a character and I'm doing like a long form, kind of like what Frank Oz did with Yoda, it's not that I forget who I am, but I am so inset with that character. Like, you are now a part of me and you're just like on my shoulder and we're going to talk like this no matter what. Like every single time I'm in the booth, this is how we're talking.
Kind of like almost method acting controlled in the booth.
Kind of, yeah. It's actually harder when you have to do two different voices. But like, if you only have the one voice and you're like, this is my character, this is who I am for the next 2 months. Got it.
There you go. I think when I've heard voiceover, I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I do. And a lot of what I hear is the only part that sounds like the person who's reading are like the neutral narration lines.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's from like a first person perspective for a character, it's more like in that character, neutral version of that character too. Forrest says, Jen, tell them about your amazing education and kid friendly voices, and how you're the next mainline voice for PBS Kids and the like. And then after you talk about that, you can talk about Articulate.
Okay. Well, actually, he did this on purpose. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I know he did. I can tell. Even from text, I know Aaron well enough.
Well, no, it's a great segue. So because, so I have a new mentor, and we're just really focusing on like, what is your specialty? Like, what is the thing that you keep getting hired for? And I'm like, well, I keep getting hired for all this like kid stuff. And I like kid stuff. And I'm like, yeah, like, guys, don't you want to go out and play? It's the best thing ever. And or A is for apple. A is for apple. And
it's a friendly voice that kids could recognize.
Just so like cheerful Disney princess, which I mean, my husband's like, good God, you're like, my husband is like a Star Wars nerd. And so to make him watch Disney is like, I made him watch Beauty and the Beast for my birthday, and it was like a sacrifice of love. And I'm like, Star Wars is Disney, dude.
Now you know her love language.
My love language. We're going to go to the movie theater. The movie theater in town is doing Star Wars Episode 4 in the movie theater, and we're going to go see it in the movie theater. And like, that's my love language for him.
That would be amazing, because I have never seen 4, 5, and 6 in a theater. I've only seen it like when you're at home type of thing.
Me too. And I only ever watched it once, and it was when I was sick. So I was like, yeah, we can watch it.
Well, now you won't be sick.
So this is going to be me like actually watching it. And I'm like, okay. And it's going to be in a movie theater, which I do not go to movie theaters.
No, Vision said maybe if the beast had a lightsaber.
In 10 years, other than the Star Wars movies, I've never been to the movie theaters until Wicked came out. And I'm like, this is my one.
Wicked was absolutely amazing, wasn't it?
I am obsessed.
My goodness.
I am completely obsessed. Yeah.
I sing it in the car all the time. Confession. I'm known on the channel for SpongeBob SquarePants, the theme song and opera. That's happened accidentally.
Do it.
Not now. I want you to talk about Articulate.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, yes. So going into that. So, with my new mentor, just like preparing for this new mentor, I'm like, I'm going to create my new demo. I'm going to have everything ready. And so in our Articulate channel, which I'll talk about the origin story in just a little bit, because I know it'll embarrass Aaron. So
we love embarrassing Aaron.
I love him.
Jennifer and I are going to get along really well.
Well, I mean, I hope it doesn't embarrass him, but I hope he understands how important he is. But anyway, but we're going to get to that. But so I posted it in our channel, and he's like, good God, you are like the next PBS voice. And then he comes up with this idea, and he sends me this super creepy video of, you might have to help me, Aaron. It's Amanda, but she's this like a little girl with a little sheep, and it's so like Dora the Explorer, but then it goes really dark and creepy. And he's like, I want to do a Static Shift episode. Well, Static Shift articulates audio drama that was invented by Jason Tibor, who's on here. I see him.
Yes, he's embarrassed. Aaron settles in and grabs some popcorn.
So he started writing this. Hi, Jason. This audio drama that's like very like 1980s, a little bit of Stranger Things, but like, I'm sorry, I did not like Stranger Things, but like a version of Stranger Things that even I would like. And I'm obsessed with it. and so like every few weeks he has a new episode that he's personally written and produced, and they're amazing, and we're gonna just release the whole thing soon. And so Aaron was like, I want to do a spin-off of a one episode spin-off of this audio drama horror of this creepy like PBS Dora the Explorer that actually knows that you're watching.
Oh yes. Oh gosh.
And I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have ChatGPT write that up, and I'll have ChatGPT write their own ultimate horror story. And he's like, girl, I got this. And he wrote like a whole script in one day.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It reminds me, there's a game. Forrest says, Aaron, I strive to be like Jen and Jason, but I'll never reach that bar.
What? No.
We should all be on the equal bar, but we're always going to view each other as higher than our own. So there's actually a video game called Amanda, and
that's the one. That's the one he sent me. Yes.
That is it's a very lovingly creepy type of thing. It's a vibe.
Oh my God.
Good way to put it. It's a vibe.
That is the inspiration for the script that he wrote. And
it's like when you have a young girl who just seems so sweet, and then like the devil slowly starts to come out. That's just how it felt.
What do you think killed the wolf?
Me.
Was he poisoned? Was he stabbed?
Yeah, exactly.
And
can you spell wolf for me?
I don't like this game.
That was like okay. Moving on. I actually have so many questions we haven't gotten to yet. Are there any vocal warm-ups or techniques that you swear by when you do a session?
Okay, so I got to put on my like speech therapist hat for this.
Yes, which I love speech therapists, by the way. Both of my children went through speech therapy.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So one, especially if I have an early morning live directed session, which all of my live directed sessions are in the morning because I'm West Coast and everybody seems to be like Central and East Coast. And I work full time in a hospital, so I have to do it before I go to work. So I will wake up at 6 a.m. and I just start like gentle humming and like gentle humming to gentle glides and like gentle pitch glides, which you're familiar with that. I have a really, really bad habit. I know I should do more diaphragmatic breathing, but I'm like, I feel like I do enough naturally that I don't warm it up, but I know that I should.
My favorite one that I do is I take in a big breath and then I hiss and I go for as long as I can.
So my favorite one for that, when I remember to do it, and I make all my patients do this when they have like coordination issues, is I will get like a glass of water, fill it about halfway full. You want it to be like 5 centimeters of water because nerd point, to create voice, you have to create enough pressure to blow through 5 centimeters of water. And I'll say, you know what?
I'm
remember when you were a
blowing
kid?
My straw.
Yes. So do this. So check this out. So I'll say, you know, when you were a kid and you used to blow bubbles in your chocolate milk? We're going to do that. And they're like, oh yeah. And so like we will blow bubbles in our water because I don't have chocolate milk, but we will blow bubbles in our water. And so if I have time and I think about it in the mornings, I will actually like blow bubbles for about like 16 seconds a piece just to work on my core thoracic diaphragmatic muscles.
Milk kind of coats the throat, so it's not the best, I guess, for that
too. It's not, and I mean I could go on a whole tirade about like it's not touching your vocal cords, it's just going into your system. Like water is the best thing. So
the reason I don't like doing milk is because it feels like it makes my mucus production more.
It does
which isn't like the vocal cords or anything, but it makes you feel kind of feeling, and
it promotes acid reflux.
Yeah, which yay.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to get that too. What do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about voice acting?
That it's easy.
Yeah, that was like I wrote that question down and I was like, I know she's going to say that it's easy.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people would think that.
And the problem is, and I see it all over social media, and actually that's kind of how I came back to voiceover 20 years later. Was it was one of those corporate voiceover con jobs, and it was like, you know, this is how you do it, and if you pay us $4,000, we'll help you make a demo,
Oh
and you have your
boy.
mentorship.
Mhm.
And I just it got my brain juices flowing, because I'd kind of been like off and on with voiceover. Like, it was something I deep down wanted to do, and I like would dabble, but I just didn't know how to do it. And YouTube University wasn't really a thing at the
Yeah.
time. So
I'm very fortunate when I started video editing that it was.
yes. So I ended up like like towards the end of COVID, like there was this thing about like, hey, do you want to be a voiceover artist? Come to this free conference. And I went. And like after they tried to pitch me, I'm like, I can do that. And I just started doing like more YouTube videos and found like Fiverr and things like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. And like kind of went down the rabbit hole from there.
And then Aaron asked, the biggest misconception that he sees is that you do nothing but say a few things and get paid. There's no work involved.
Oh my God.
100%.
Do you know how many times?
Oh, goodness.
First of all, like how many times I say something, how many times I have to revise it because
Mhm.
the buyer isn't specific about what they want. And they're like, well, or the worst thing now is like, you'll put your whole heart in that sounds like AI. And I'm like, what do you even mean by that? What do you even mean by that?
What,
Sounds
it's
like
too
AI.
perfect for you? What?
Right. Like,
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. Let me mumble my words a little bit more.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
It's a lot like that with content creation too, where people think you just hit go live and then that is it. I'm like, no, I have to make my animations. I have to
Mhm.
network. I have to talk
Right.
to people. I have to edit my own stuff.
Right.
I make my own art, all that kind of stuff. People just think it's just like you hit a button, that's it.
Right.
Like, that's definitely not it. There's a lot of relationships you grow. There's networking. There's posting on social media, trying to learn the algorithm, which is like the worst thing to ever try to even figure out.
That's where I am right now. I'm like, how do I learn how to market? How do I learn the algorithms? How do I
Mhm.
learn that?
Not to mention booking fantastic guests like Jennifer. This is a fantastic interview. You guys are rocking.
Oh, thank you. Can you walk us through the process of like when you first receive a script?
Mhm.
When you walk through the process either of like coming up with a character, or if you're doing a commercial, like how you're
Mhm.
going to approach the commercial. Do you create the vibe, or does the client like tell you kind of what they want and you try to create that? And then if they make changes, you take notes and then try to adjust?
So one of the main questions that I have, like I have requirements. Let me clarify. Like most of my work comes from Fiverr, and when it doesn't come from Fiverr, when it does come through direct marketing, like I ask these questions. But like, what is the vibe? What is the energy? Who is it that you're envisioning this person to be?
Mhm.
And hopefully they actually answer that. And if they don't, then I do have to kind of make it up. But I have a list of like different versions of myself or different corporate versions that I've learned from mentors along the way. And you know, the reluctant what did they say? Expert, the reluctant expert. And I'm like, oh, well, that's my best friend, Jonathan. He knows everything about everything, especially like water rights and environmental stuff. And he doesn't want to be. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to embody my best friend. And so I like, whenever I see these scripts and I'm like, who is this person? And I try to attribute it to somebody that I know.
You're emulating them in a sense.
And then I'm just like, okay, I am now going to be Jonathan.
That is awesome. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a lot of how like even screen actors will emulate someone they know into the character that they are playing, because it's pulling from real experience.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's wonderful. Actually, it's fantastic.
And, you know, and these are people that we've observed too. So like I mean, I said backstage, like I'm kind of a mimic. So like I've watched different people in different scenarios. So like when I'm looking at a script, like, well, who would be saying this? Well, so-and-so would be saying this. All right, I'm going to be so-and-so.
There you go. And it's just like, it's also just like connects with your brain, making it so you can just deliver that line the way you want to deliver it.
Yeah.
So you voice a character named Diana in the Phantom game. Now, actually, if you guys don't know what the Phantom is, he is this comic superhero from like I think the 60s. Originally, like the original comics, and they actually had a movie in the 90s with Billy Zane in as the Phantom, which actually I watched that. I grew up watching that one, so I actually knew when Aaron mentioned the Phantom, I was like, I know that. And you play Diana. Now, what was one of your favorite things voicing that character in the game?
I think so. Okay, so I didn't know who Diana was.
It's okay. Like it's of course it's fine, but you got to be Diana.
My favorite thing, because I love one thing, like I don't do a lot of audiobooks, but when I do, I'm like, I want a strong, powerful, interesting female. And I was like, oh, sweet, I got cast for Diana. I don't really know much about her. So it was like, as I was researching her, and it was like, oh, like this has been her evolution since the 60s. And I'm like, this is the coolest character, like the coolest female character with the most evolution that I've ever seen over decades. So I loved taking that of just like who she was and then who she's become now. And as I'm doing the punching and the fighting, and I had some screaming, which I don't think got added. But I didn't know. My favorite story about this is I didn't know that my husband had left the front door open, and we live in a condo.
Oh boy.
So I'm doing all the
yeah, it sounds like you're getting like kicked.
And I mean, I was probably in the booth for 20 minutes screaming and punching and kicking.
That is so funny.
And I walked
people
out.
Hearing that.
I walked out and I was like, hey, love, I'm done. And he goes, oh, good, because the cops are here. And I was like, oh, really? No. And I look out and like there's cops in the parking lot, just kind of like chilling, like they're looking for the noise. They're still waiting for the noise. And he goes, don't worry, there's some neighbors on the street that are fighting too. He's like, just be very quiet. But I took a picture of it because like, that's so cool.
That is hilarious.
Cops called on me.
Yeah, Forrest also said, so proud of your work in that game. My only regret is that we couldn't record all the game together.
I know, that was the sad thing. But when I was like, because well, I'm not good at, I don't have the dexterity, but I made my husband play it. And it was so cool watching. And I'm like, oh, that's Aaron. Oh, that's Danielle. Oh my, like, and especially
that is so much fun.
That was the most fun. I wish we could have recorded it together because there's like a lot of like interaction and stuff, but I think it turned out really, really well. So maybe the next game.
Yeah, and I think I have it. It's available on Steam.
Yeah, it's available on Steam, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation. Am I missing one? Is there like another
Play Interactive?
Like basically all your major gaming platforms. So Sony, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch.
Far on Steam, it has 22 reviews, and they're mostly positive, it says. Yay. So that's great. That's wonderful. So if you guys want to check out the game that both Aaron and Jennifer are in, go ahead and check out your major console store, whichever platform that you play on, and check it out. When we do the outro video in a bit, you'll get to hear a bit of Jennifer's voice in the game and see a few like kind of cutscenes. I kind of made the outro longer than normal so that people could get kind of taste of it. So that's really cool. So how do you feel the rise of like remote work has affected the voiceover industry?
I think it's made it well. So here's the thing. So 20 years ago, I remember my boss saying, voiceover is something you can do living in a trailer down by the river. And that was 20 years ago. We had a thing in Colorado Springs and his clients were in New York City. I feel like remote work has kind of normalized that, where people are realizing how easy it is. But I feel like it's been a thing for 20 years.
Yeah, I think people just didn't realize it, or it became because of all the virtual stuff that everybody had to learn. the
Mhm.
knowledge of being able to do something like that remote became a little bit more wide known, like more wide known, is that the correct term?
More widely known.
Widely known, thank you. That maybe that's kind of like how people felt like they could probably get into it. Because for a long time, especially like even now for movies, sometimes you have to go into a studio, like all
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. And especially if
Right.
people don't do it regularly, they don't have
Mhm.
necessarily the gear, the
Right.
equipment to be able to do it.
Right. And for
Um,
your more major things, Portia Scott is a major um uh agent in the Los Angeles area.
okay.
And I was able to audit one of her interviews and like audition checkups. So we were like able to like unofficially audition for her.
Ooh.
And she straight up said, like, you know, for little things like commercials, like she's got people that live in the UK and that's fine. But if you want a series, you have to really be in New York or LA, because even if you're willing to fly in, what happens if your flight gets canceled?
Yeah.
Or delayed? And I get that, because this mic sounds different from my last mic. And I've heard things. Articulate has kind of generalized this consensus that I think like 6 of the 8 of us now all have the same mic.
Oh, that's funny.
So when we are recording, there's like a very similar sound.
Okay, the quality of sound and stuff like that is very
Mhm.
similar. Makes
Right.
sense.
Right. But like it was like a fan dub for Totally Spies. And when I watched it on YouTube, I'm like, oh my God, I can totally hear the difference in like room tone and mic sound of every single character, because we didn't do it together.
That
That wasn't
really
with
cool
Articulate.
though. That's yeah. I've not thought too much about, like, my husband talked about possibly getting me panels for my office wall here. And I'm like, but it's so pretty. But like he said, well, if you ever get into something like that, you'd want a space that keeps the sound around you more deadened. So that it's only picking up your voice. But thankfully, my equipment's like super quiet, and
Yeah.
I usually don't have much in the way of issues of background noise getting picked up. At least I don't do voiceover stuff, not yet. At least, Aaron.
We'll
But
get you there.
Aaron, what was I gonna? I told her about the commercial, by the way, the Because We Care commercial,
Yes.
and I'm going to send it to her afterwards as well. So that we can all giggle and laugh about it. And that was before I had like a nice mic. This one I saved up quite a bit for, the Shure SM7B. This is the nerd talk, right? When you get into like the nerdy equipment stuff. Is I saved up for a while to get an SM7B, but I said Because We Care. But I still have like my old XLR mic, which was just fine. But I wanted to get something that I knew was good for singing. And I know a good music artist who said that this one is the one he uses and it was really good. And he actually gifted me some funds towards it. So I could get it. So I was like, I understand like wanting to get like good quality stuff to be able to, like, even your iPad microphone that you're using right now sounds perfectly clear.
That's crazy to me. I was like,
yeah,
oh,
like
you're
gonna need to go
things.
listen back to,
Yeah.
like I will actually listen back to every one of our streams for like a few moments just to kind of hear how I sound. Ark, we cannot see you. There you are. You were completely in the dark.
That was my magic trick.
Yeah, your magic trick. There you go. There's his magic. You should just turn on a Saber for the light.
Oh yeah, that'll be my hand waving. Hey, I wanted to ask, is that something that your ear has become more refined because of the work that you've done, that you can hear the differences between microphones and quality? And can you hear somebody's audition tape and know, oh my God, that guy's in his bathroom right now with like the cheapest quality microphone versus somebody who, I mean, and in that case, because sometimes as a consumer, it seems like, you've got a million different choices, and really, what is the difference between the $60 microphone versus the $600 microphone?
Well, so interesting. Okay, well, first let me answer your question. So first off, I can definitely tell when there's a dramatic difference. I am definitely not the best one to be able to tell. We have other people in Articulate. Rob and Tiffany are both like amazing at this. So I will always run dry audio past them before I start producing it when I'm making a demo. Because they'll notice little things like, oh, you sound a little boxy, or little things like that that I can't hear in my headphones at all. But I can definitely hear dramatic differences. Or even if like you recorded from here, like this mic to a different mic, I'm like, oh, well, that was different. But I do think like some people have a very good ear for it. I don't.
Actually, it's really funny because this technically was used for voiceover work, but not for me. My husband recorded training lines for his work.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know. So the one thing that I don't have knowledge about when it comes to voiceover is the type of software one uses, whether it be Audacity, Audition, or something like that. I don't know what's considered the best. Do you, aside from like advice about a software too, what kind of advice do you have for people out there who are interested in getting into voiceover work?
Just start with what you have. Okay. Oh, this is the thing I was going to say about the mics.
Oh, okay.
Not my first mic, because my first mic was an XLR, or I'm sorry, it was a USB mic. And it was a podcasting mic. And I'm like, okay, that works. And it's fine. But when I got into voiceover, I was like, I want a mic that I can grow with. Like, I only want to buy this one time. And I bought an AKG C414. It was over $1,000. I've had musicians be like, that's an incredible mic, blah, 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 blah. And then my clients would be like, you sound like you have a lisp.
Interesting.
And so I was talking to Tiffany, who's another member of Articulate, and she goes, well, I use this Audio Technica. It's a shotgun mic, and it actually kind of helps with the sibilance. And I was like, well, I want to try it out. This mic is like $150, $200 maybe for like all the equipment, the stabilizers, everything, the XLRs. So for a fraction of the cost, it is a much superior mic for what you're doing.
Okay.
That being said, dance with the mic you got. So, but don't think just because I'm paying more, I'm going to get a better mic, because it's not.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say how much mine was.
Shotgun mics are pretty good. Cardioid mics are good. But a lot of it depends on your space too.
Okay.
So
you have to buy the right mic for the space that you record in, basically.
And sometimes
that's a good way to look at it.
And the nice thing is, like, you know, things like Amazon, whatever, like you can buy like 3 or 4 mics, try them out, listen back. If you have a group of people, which one do you think sounds better? We have another girl in our group who has a like Aussie something or other, and it sounds like her voice has turned into butter. I have no other way to explain it. And I'm like, never change your mic. That is incredible.
Oh, that is awesome.
and that's coming from somebody who is like full on, like, our entire group should all have the Audio Technica. And then we're going to do an ad, and we're going to do some payola and plugola, and
Arc is back.
But okay, you never get rid of your mic.
In that vein, then, as a sound technician, would say one might be better for like a horror series, and one might be better for like a children's series because of the way your voice might change. It would having a collection. Is it better to have a collection of mics?
I don't think so. I really think it's your voice and how it interacts with your space. Especially, you know, how it deals with fricatives and sibilants and all of that. So, but I think a lot of it has to do with your space.
Yeah, I think a lot. Yeah, because the one thing that will change is your voice, but the quality of the recordings doesn't change if you're not changing over mics.
And that being said, there are some producers that are like, you're recording on a shotgun mic, I will never hire you for an audiobook.
That's so strange.
You know, and it's like,
Like if you
Oh.
deliver the product properly,
Right.
then what does it matter?
right.
Aaron here also said Studio One Pro is his preferred, at least.
Yeah. So my personal opinion, and I've worked with a few of them. Like I started with Audacity because it's free.
Mm-hmm.
Start with Audacity to learn how to audio edit. If you can use Microsoft Word, you can audio edit. It's the same thing, but you're looking at shapes versus text. And I learned that back in undergrad.
Waveforms.
Yeah, like you're noticing waveforms, you're noticing patterns. Start with something free. It's not the most user friendly, but once you get to Studio One or the Adobe version, which I don't remember what it was, Audition.
Audition. Yeah.
And that's what I learned in college. I learned Adobe Audition back in college. What I like about Studio One is you buy it with Adobe Audition.
You get to pay.
You're subscribing to it, and I don't vibe on that. So I'm a Studio One girl. Actually,
I can understand. But for me, I pay a subscription to Adobe for all my editing software and Photoshop and all that. So I guess Audition just comes with it, and I haven't specifically done the need for it because I don't do voiceover work. I know Aaron's already thinking, honey, you're going to, I do have it. I have it installed and I didn't know it. I was just glancing in my Adobe.
It is good. Adobe Audition is really good. You know, there are people that swear by Adobe Audition on a Mac and that is all they will ever use. And I'm like, well, that's what I learned on, but I use Windows and Studio One and I can do just as good a work.
Yeah.
So
I think the only reason I would use Audition is because I already pay for the subscription, like for all my editing stuff.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, if I had it already, I wouldn't buy Studio One, but
this is Aaron responding to me not doing voiceover work.
Dun dun dun.
Yes.
Can I tell you, just because this is like, Aaron's friends, he started Articulate. He gathered this gaggle of voiceover artists. And I don't know. Aaron, tell me if you know this, or if you remember this, or what your side of the story is. But he wanted to do this fan dub, and there was another girl in the voice class, and I can't attend the voice classes because I was at work. But he was like, I want to do this fan dub. Tiffany and other girl, do you want to? Yes, I did out you, sir. Do you guys want to do this fan dub? And the other girl hadn't responded yet, and I was like, hey, I can do that. If you're looking for somebody, I can do that. And that's our origin story, was me just being like,
he said earlier, you can't embarrass a founder, so he already kind of outed himself in a sense, but I don't think he didn't specifically say.
But I mean, I'm not going to speak for him, but I don't know, Aaron, you're such a humble guy, but he created this group. He cultivated this group of just amazing, versatile talent. And somehow I got to be a part of it. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, but it all started with me being like,
hi.
Hey,
Van says,
if you're looking for somebody,
does Articulate have its own gang sign? 8 there.
Now we do. No, actually we have this.
Okay.
Which is how many shakas away from the mic you are.
Okay.
So it would be I vote 2 shakas for that.
Oh wow. I've never thought about because I get pretty close.
So you should be 1 shaka away from the mic at least. And some people are like, oh no, I am 2 shakas away.
I'm okay. I'm no shakas away when I talk. I'm a half a shaka when I wasn't doing it. Maybe I be 1? Should I be here?
I mean, you sound good.
I don't know.
So.
Okay, thank you.
I think it depends on the mic. Yeah.
Aaron, I also told Jennifer about my Southern Belle accent.
Oh, it's cowabungas. Shoot,
how many cowabungas?
Oh,
this is shaka in Hawaii.
You're right. It's it is not shakas. It is cowabungas. My bad.
You call them cowabungas.
I messed up the joke.
Understood. But yeah, at least you got the sign right, because it'd be weird if you if you said this and like how many
Right.
cowabungas, how many tacos.
How many cowabungas? West Side.
But yeah,
Oh,
I
I
did.
messed
I
that
saw
one up.
Erin. I told her about my Southern Belle accent that I would do when we were in the After Dark show.
I love it. I love it.
There was my
Get her in.
joke
Get her
about
in to
voice.
articulate.
My kid would be sleeping behind me on the futon, and I would be sitting here for After Dark, being like, "Hi, everybody," and then it just suddenly came out kind of Southern. It just started happening. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for coming on our show and sharing more information about voiceover industry, getting into it and giving advice. And just, it sounds like so much, it sounds like so much fun, but also to remind everybody, it is a lot of work. You don't just record. My Belle voice does things for it.
I mean, you do. You do.
You don't just record things and it goes. You have to produce it. You have to make sure it sounds good, do takes, all of that. It's a lot of work. More than a lot of people realize. Like we said, content creation earlier, it has just so much more work than people even realize it has. So I really enjoyed being able to chat. And I kind of wish we could go more, but we're already kind of going. I was like, oh man, I could just ask so much more. We'll just have to come back. You'll just have
2 hour session. 2 hour session. Let's go.
We could do an Erin and Jennifer duo show.
Oh my gosh.
I'm West Coast too. Hey, you can
West Coast. West Side. See?
West Coast twinning. Bring her on After Dark, which they have been talking about bringing back. So if you guys didn't know what After Dark was a topic discussion show on our channel where we would have a hard topic and a soft topic. So something that could be a little bit political or harder to discuss, but everyone usually kept a very civil, cool head and just kind of openly discuss things. And the soft topic, like, why doesn't pineapple belong on pizza? Although some people might say that's political. Who knows? I don't know. No, thank you. I'm just trying to bring up one that I kind of remembered from back in the day. But they've been talking about a 2.0 version of it. And Erin, I know, really wants to be on it. Erin does get real there. I have a few shorts and stuff from that show. We would also giggle a lot too, and have some it was a Friday night silly moments show when it came to the soft topic and stuff. So
we could have a good chat about the whole AI debate discussion.
Oh yeah, I know. I was thinking, I know Jennifer's having her thoughts down below in the green room because
I got my opinions.
Yeah. We all got her. I was I'm stopping my TED talk now because I could keep going too. That could be the first After Dark topic. Yes, the dead guy in the forest story. That is the first thing I think of for us. I will send that to you too, Jennifer, because that's a short on our channel.
That sounds amazing.
What are you talking about?
That sounds amazing.
I even had I think it wasn't on the show, but I was in underneath in the virtual green room, but I can control stuff, right? So then I brought up scary music during one of his stories. I just had it ready.
Yeah.
All right.
And awesome. Also let me know how to get one of those lightsabers, because
we will send you the link and all that kind of good.
Those are fabulous. Those are incredible. You don't get those at Disney.
The one that I showed you earlier, this one's named after me. This one's the Mez.
So cool.
And it's a weathered blackish blue. It's really neat. This one's NeoPixels, so it could light up on the way versus just everything all at once. And you could have what's really nice is that I don't know how to program it this way, but you could do rainbow, say from that kind of thing.
I just want one where when you hit it and it goes from the Jedi to the Sith. I'm oh my God. I have to buy one now.
Awesome. Well, hello. Hi, Brent Wakefield. All right, guys. Well, thank you. I want to thank Jennifer for coming on our show and talking all about her really fun job, but also very hard work job. If you guys like to check out more, you can check out the links in the description that actually have her reels on there. And we'll post some more on our Facebook page this week. All right. Thank you so much, Jennifer, and have a wonderful evening.
Bye. You too. Thanks so much for having me on. This was fun.
Absolutely. Yes. We'll have to do it again.
Yes.
Ooh, After Dark. We're going to get you there.
Yes. I have opinions about everything.
Ooh, I love opinions.
And I would just listen to your opinions. I would listen to what you're saying, but also be listen. Just talk about it like coffee.
Yeah,
Okay.
you might be the one to be like, just girl.
Yeah, and if you want to stick around in the green room, we have a game that we're doing right after this.
Yes.
Your husband might enjoy it. It's Guess That Character, Star Wars Silhouette. So
Oh
yeah.
God.
And I chose kind of hard ones this week. We'll see if people get them. All
Oh,
right. Well,
man.
thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Hi.
Bye.
Oh, hello, animal friends. Have you seen my prince?
You are outmatched. There is nothing you can do to defeat me, Diana.
You know, I learned from the best. The jungle drums.
Trouble in the deep woods.
Get him! You're not going anywhere!
All those moments that I'm hearing that she was talking about recording. Oh, we're on the wrong side of the bed. Hang on.
As I was watching the video game fight scenes and stuff, I was imagining the cops like downstairs with like, what is that? Is somebody being abused up there?
There's actually a funny story, Jennifer. So years ago, I was at my mom's, just hanging out with my kids, my mom, over at the house, and my husband and his mom were at home watching football. Now, my husband is wonderfully passionate about sports, and all the windows were open. And they had a knock on the door, and my husband opened the door. It didn't click that it was a police officer right away. It looked a lot like his cousin. So his first words were, "What are you doing here?" And somebody had called concerned that people, there was a domestic issue happening, but he was just yelling at the sports. And yeah, so it was like, I was like, well, my husband can project. We're both singers. And so we can both project. We're both theater people.
I mean, I guess, if you can imagine like people going to a stadium and cheering for their favorite team, but now instead of having the stadium, you've got all those people in individual houses yelling just as feverishly at a screen instead of at a field.
Night Vision wrote Karen's, but Night Vision, there are times where people didn't call when they heard something and there was something wrong. So in a sense, I'd say it'd be better to be safe than sorry in such an instance, because anything that is innocent would just come out. So I think it's better to be safe than sorry in those kind of instances. If you think something is wrong, you call. And if you're not sure and or you don't want to go over there, you don't think it's safe, whatever, you call. And I know officers will go and check, and obviously in Jennifer's situation and our situation, it was all just misunderstanding and it was clear and they left. It wasn't like, it was okay. All right. So
you can also tell very much about where somebody lives by what they're getting phone calls about from the police. I remember I lived a mile and a half away in Fairfield from where I do now. When my mother passed, I inherited her house in Sassoon, but just a mile away from where I used to live, I remember being, at 2 a.m. in the morning when I used to smoke cigarettes, sitting out on the patio and hearing gunshots, and like that was a normal weekend noise. So you didn't flinch. But now, like in Sassoon, if you heard it, you were like, "Oh my God." It is like a mile away.
Where I am at is a very safe area, but there have been things in the past that have been crazy. We have a park directly across the street from our house, and one person's dog attacked another, and one of them pulled out their gun and shot the dog. Stuff like that. And then there was a police chase that ended down the street from us where the suspect was shot and killed just like 1 block away from us. And there was cops, and the helicopter involved in the chase landed in the park in front of our house. So it's been a lot of sometimes crazy things that happen, but most of the time, the worst that we usually get are loud teenagers in the park after dark when it's closed.
Right.
That's usually the worst.
Which one time,
I don't really call for that.
This one time when I was growing up, these 2 kids crashed together. That's how hardcore it is out here, yo.
All right, let's pick up the vibe and do a little bit of fun. Guess that character, y'all. So who's this?
Ooh, this is This is hard because there's like a galaxy behind it, so it's very.
I know.
So
it's different. I had to make the nerdy news and guess that character not at home at my office. I made it with my laptop on the go. So I made a different background and stuff just to kind of pop in there. But I kind of liked it. I was like, oh, this is a little bit simpler than what I've been doing. I kind of liked it. Who is this
I like
guy?
it. It's got a cool little vibe. I like the music. It's like blending and flowing. But I have to ask, okay, how hardcore is this? Is it something from the movies that people would recognize, or is this like some deep canon crap?
If you guys, no, it's not deep canon crap. But if you guys want hints, both of tonight's characters are from TV shows.
TV, so
live action TV shows.
Live action, okay. That is
not animated.
Kind of.
You're like kind of. Wait, I still don't know.
But you know, the Ewoks had a movie way back in the day that was live action.
Well, I said it wasn't deep cut, so.
Oh, okay. All right. What's up to my man Eric Walker, who has been on the show? He was in the original Ewoks movie. Oh, actually, we got a few Ewoks on the show. Oh, we got a guest over here.
Obi-Wan. Okay. No, Van gets the privilege of guesting in the private chat, and our guests can do that if they want to as well. And I tell them if they're correct or not. Jennifer said if it was, I'm pretty sure Jennifer's thinking if it was a Beauty and the Beast silhouette, she would know. Totally, yeah.
I have no guest this week. I'm not good because I have a feeling this is somebody from the. No. You did say live action.
Live action TV series.
Obi-Wan. It could be Skeleton Crew. It could be Ahsoka. There's so many choices.
I know there's in the last 10 years, the amount of TV shows, live action from Star Wars have just ballooned, have just exploded. My music stopped. I'm so sad.
No, my only guess is I feel like I see armor. I like okay, that's gonna be my guess. I have one guess.
Okay, put your guess in.
Okay. I'm gonna get.
I'm watching for it. Do you guys think Van will get it right?
No, I don't think I'll get it right.
He usually does not. You spelled it incorrect, but that is correct.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh! Mando with no helmet is a good guess, technically.
All right, guys. So the answer is Cobb Vanth.
Woo!
And that's how you say his name. And actually, yes, Van got it right. This is Timothy Oliphant. Hi, Sage. Sage is our intern on the channel. Everyone say hi. He's got a video coming out soon. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to last week's video. You just finished it. Good. So just put it up in the Google Drive and I'll upload it right after this.
I saw that.
So Cobb Vanth, also known as the Marshal, was a human male who lived during the Galactic Civil War and subsequent New Republic era. Once a slave, he rose to become Marshal of Most Pelgo on the planet Tatooine. So he was on The Mandalorian, as a lot of people know. You can recognize the armor too. After Djarin left during the show, Vanth was shot by Cad Bane, who told the inhabitants of Freetown that if the spice trade continued, they would remain unharmed. Following a battle, the Pikes were repelled from the planet, and Vanth received treatment for his wounds by a modifier, and that was the last we saw was on The Mandalorian. Timothy Oliphant is fantastic. He's a great actor. All right, guys. Next,
that was right. I'm very impressed.
I know. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you,
next, who's this?
Ooh.
Who is this character?
Okay, is this also from
This is also a live action TV series, yes.
Oh, okay. But that still leaves a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything.
Who is it, guys? I need to add more music.
Tasting Jeopardy music.
I know. I don't want to get copyrighted, so
what if Fig Dangerine with the guy, the bisque, the what if they played Jeopardy music? That would be really cool. Okay. Our man Aaron.
Oh, Thrawn. Okay.
The Beard has guessed the Thrawn.
One of the beards. If you guys didn't know, we had a saying with the beards of the show. We actually had Beard in the chair, right? Graveyard and Aaron were our beards in the chair on the show. And as people have known, I played a joke once on Aubrey, Captain Lady Moon, on our show, where the beard in the chair is like someone who helps walk you through on a game that when you're stuck on it. And she was doing a game that I had played, and so I said I would need to go to the bathroom, but I didn't. I came back with a fake beard on, just to kind of like cheer her up and throw her off. All right. So do you have a guess, man?
I don't. I think it's a Jedi, but I don't know. I have no clue.
You could not be more wrong.
Oh my goodness.
It's Cyril Karn.
Oh, okay. You're right. I'm wrong.
Cyril
Wow,
Karn
look at that five.
I know. Was a human male silver servant who was employed by the Imperial Bureau of Standards of the Galactic Empire and had prior been a senior law enforcement officer for the Preox Morlana as a deputy inspector during the Imperial era. Now, he appeared on Andor. So at the beginning of Andor, I'll just do the beginning spoilers. I'm not going to say what's happened this season, because if you haven't caught up, we haven't watched all of it yet ourselves. But in the beginning of the first, season of Andor, ends up having to kill two guys, and Cyril is like the inspector at the time trying to do an investigation. He's played by Kyle Soller, and he is fantastic in the show. Like, that character to me was one of the most interesting characters in the show. I love Andor. It's one of my favorite ever shows. It's so sad it's going to be over soon. Maybe that's what's making me hesitant to finish.
Andor is like Stephen King for Star Wars fans.
Yes. Anyway, so guys, that is the end of Guess That Character. I want to play a quick couple of things before we do talk of the town. I want to say thank you for Jennifer for coming on our show. Thank you, James Kaiser, for doing our flow of the show segment.
Hey, Ron.
Forces, I just want to say that it means the world that you brought Jen on. She's family to me, like you are. So thank you. I love you all. We love you. We love you. Yes, it's great.
Articulate. Oh, you can do like eyeballs. Articulate. From
well, if you want to make it an 8, though, 8s are vertical. But
right, but it starts off as like eyes, like vision.
This is theirs. This is Cowabunga.
Oh yeah,
The Cowabungas. Okay. So don't forget, we also have a new intern on our show named Sage. He is doing a Sunday night upload that comes out very soon after Saber Rattle ends. He's doing a Final Fantasy 1 playthrough. So if you want to check that out, some of it's got the analytic too, so he can go through like a weapon that might be best and stuff like that, if you guys are interested in that. He is a very nice young man. Yes, of course, like you said before, when I said that, you're like, he's from your church, isn't he? Yes, he is. So what? But he's learning about editing, learning about uploading to channels, and learning about that kind of stuff and how things work when working on a channel, especially with a group of people. It's one thing. I have my own channel and my own Twitch streaming, which is on pause right now. But it's one thing working on your own versus when you work with a team of people. It's a very different thing. So he's learning a bit about that. And if you're wondering why, hi, Distance Nerding. That's our bruh channel. Bruh. The reason my Twitch streams and such are on pause is because I'm focusing on my health and losing my weight loss journey to lose 80 pounds. So
wow.
That is kind of like what I'm using the time that I normally would for streaming and focusing on healthy eating, planning food, grocery shopping, going to work out at the gym, getting cardio in, because I'm not getting any younger, as a lot of us know, and content creation can be there when I'm done and getting healthy. So
that's right.
And I still have Kyber K Productions, and I did do a live stream for an hour and a half yesterday morning with Graveyard on our own channels doing escape for the weekend. We do escape rooms and stuff. So those are a lot of fun.
And really quickly, I want to welcome Sage to the fold. I am excited to eventually meet you. We have live events that you can come out to, Sage, and be a part of. Kyber Cave is so much more than just editing in a back room. As Metz will tell you, she has mysteriously become a convention manager in a matter of a month.
That was 5 weeks. I got boot camp. Distance recent documentary journey I'd watched. I'd be inspired. I am already documenting some of it. Like I don't want to. I don't know. For me, if I overdo if I record myself like heading to the gym or whatever, that kind of thing. But my brain is not very good on what to document. I don't like filming at the gym. I think that to me that is weird. But if I feel like if I film my progress or something like that, or like because my goal is to be able to do 2 to 3 miles when I do go to my cardio on the elliptical 3 days a week, at least. And then start building up the muscle and whatnot from there. If you guys want to, moving on, if you want to help support our channel,
I didn't get to finish what I was saying.
Okay, sorry. I'm so sorry, Van. ADHD brain. Go.
I wanted to welcome Sage to the channel and getting to meet him. I also wanted to remind people that we have that this channel is so much more than just this show, but Saber Rattle is just one of a few shows. We have our retro Alcove, which comes on Mondays. And in fact, I was to answer Distance Learner's question, I was just in Pasadena Con. We drove back from that. It was a 1-day event, and I thought it was a 2-day event. It was a 1-day event, and when we were interviewed by Geek Saga, I was proudly wearing my retro Alcove shirt. So make sure to check out all our other shows. Our Multiverse of Cosplay is a fantastic show, especially if you love local cosplay, and it's very, very funny. So we have a number of shows, and Mets, whenever you're ready, you already have fans that are waiting for your Wednesday shows.
Stop it.
And I think we're getting closer to bringing back After Dark in its new iterations. Yes, shout out to Geek Saga. We are going to have them on our show in the near future as well. So love Distance Learning. I was actually wearing my DNA on last week's show for 2 weeks. Anyways.
2 weeks because last week I was alone.
Oh, yes. 2 weeks then.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. If you want to help support our channel, you can go to kybercave.com and buy yourself a saber. You can also go to kcpmerch.com and buy yourself some KCP merch, or you can go to patreon.com/kybercaveproductions and support us for as little as $1 a month. We also are partnered with YouTube, so you can actually give us YouTube super chats during the show. It's like tips during the show. That helps a lot with our channel as well. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us this week, and we will be back next week. But for now, and please enjoy your talk of the town. Bye.